Welcome to Bird Spray Sports, where we weekly cover Ravens and Orioles news. We're your hosts, TJ and Jared. And in this video, we're going to be doing a game recap of the Steelers and Ravens, a clash that was held, Saturday, a couple of days ago, in which we really needed to win, and we got the job done. And it felt good. That win felt good. Um, I feel like the Ravens have a lot of momentum right now, and we're going against a Texans team that has dealt with a lot of injuries. And I'm gonna be honest, this is the perfect time to get a win over them. They're kind of still rebuilding from the injuries. Prayers to Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, and even Nico Collins. Who's been dealing with a lot this season. So prayers up to them. But in terms of just the team that they have on the field, this will be a perfect opportunity to extend our win streak against them. But more on that on the Texans video. Um, I just want to start with the defense. Defense was lights out in this game, and it's crazy because we were crapping on Zach Orr the whole season, but ever since that Steelers game that we lost in November, he's gotten it together. And we you just gotta applaud him. I mean that move of bringing in Dean Pease as a an assistant type role, and just Orr's progression with the defense and them understanding better and even changes in personnel has done wonders. It really has. And the run defense is much better. The passing defense is getting a little bit more stout. We saw that in this game, with the interception, by Marlon Humphrey, just a great read by him, a pick six. And even Kyle Hamilton could have had an interception. Those just the defense was really lights out, and I was proud. And we saw Darius Washington causing a fumble. Like, I'm sorry, I don't think Marcus Williams does that. I don't think Eddie Jackson, does that. They didn't put themselves in a position to make plays. It seems like instead of coming towards the play and trying to engage and make it, they were away from the play and tried to just stay in the zone that they were assigned in. We see a guy like AD Washington, he engages the ball, he engages the play. He's running around the field, being active the whole play. We didn't see that with Marcus Williams or Eddie Jackson. So defense was lights out. They were everywhere across the field. They were engaged and they played like they wanted to win this game. When
Yep.
Lamar threw that pick and it was 24-17 still, defense played like the season was on the line. And it was amazing to see. And you know, going to the offense, it was nice to see Derrick Henry. I mean, those lanes that he was running through were wide open all night. And it was amazing to see. He almost had 200 yards rushing on the Steelers defense. When in a Ravens game have you seen any running Ravens Steelers game? Have you seen a Ravens running back almost have 200 yards? I'm sorry, I can't even remember Ray Rice doing that, or Willis McGahee. Just running backs of the Ravens of my era of watching Ravens football. You don't really see that, and to do that against the Steelers defense, the offensive line played very well. So, I think the offense did good, but the defense was lights out. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, man. I mean,
But
sorry,
you
it's
you
just
still gotta laugh at me the way I said good.
yeah, but no, to get into my thoughts, you know, I said in the pregame video, if the Ravens come out and do the same shit, they look the same, they lose the same, they do whatever the same, or even just lose in general. This team will not have a Super Bowl identity to me. They will not have a Super Bowl chance. And I know anything can happen, but you know, to me, I felt like the Ravens just won't learn anything. And I said it didn't seem like they understood the intensity or the weight of these games versus the Steelers. And they came out, and not only did they understand the intensity, but they passed the test finally. They got over the hump. Lamar played efficient. Derrick Henry played efficient. Defense played efficient. And it's just overall just an efficient game from the whole team. Like, Lamar didn't have to go out of his way to do these amazing things. Like Lamar just had to be Lamar, which is just sit in the pocket, deliver strikes to guys. He had that one blunder, but we got it right back. And I know the interceptions are going to be eating at Lamar all week. Oh, not even really all week because he doesn't even have a chance to let it pass all week. He's going to get right back at it on Wednesday, but I know that he's going to let that interception eat at him. But obviously it seemed to be some miscommunication between him and Bateman. But I mean, shout out to the coaching staff, for getting these guys ready. I mean, these guys looked ready. They looked ready to fight. They looked ready to compete. I mean, they played with a different physicality as well. I mean, that 80 Washington, like a 5'9" safety, putting a boomstick on Russell Wilson, who's not an easy guy to bring down. I mean, these guys just looked ready. Like this didn't look like the Ravens, man. This looked like it's just I don't even know. I mean, it did look like the Ravens, but it felt like a different, prepared, battle tested Ravens. That we wished to see all season. I mean, they had spurts here and there where they looked great. They looked like they were figuring it out, but then they immediately cropped the bed the next week. And they had that great win versus the Giants, and this game was the bigger test out of the two games, and they passed it, man. I mean that pick six, completely changed the tide of the game, because honestly, that pick by Lamar could have easily given the Steelers momentum to tie the game and then to win the game, later in the game, but that pick, I mean, that could be the pick of the year, honestly, for the Ravens. That could be if they win the division and they go on and win the Super Bowl, whatever, that could be pick of the year, because I mean, like I said, we could have easily been deflated right there. But Marlon Humphrey, he's been there all year for the clutch moments. From the Bengals pick to changing the tide in the Buccaneers game to the Bengals fumble, now to this game. I mean, he's a playmaker at this point. I think we can officially say that he is a playmaker. And I keep one of my biggest gripes with the Ravens defense last year in the postseason was they didn't cause enough turnovers. But if the Ravens can go in the postseason and do what they just did versus Steelers, cause timely turnovers, not just turnovers. I mean, turnovers are one thing, but these timely turnovers. Think about it. The 80 Washington fumble came when it was 7-7, and the Steelers were driving on the field looking to take the lead. He caused that fumble. We get the ball right back. We take the lead 14-7. This, and the other pick was what, 24-17, I think? 24-17. The pick six makes it 31-17, putting the game out of reach at that point. So if the Ravens can continue to get timely turnovers like this, the Ravens can go far. They can go far. They really can. And if Lamar can play efficient like this, where he doesn't need to be this superhero, he can sit in the pocket and deliver strikes. I mean, Lamar was delivering strikes all game. He was delivering strikes all game on third down, on the red zone, whatever. 3 touchdowns versus the Steelers. That one pick, obviously, like I've been talking about, but I mean, these guys seemed ready. They seemed battle tested. They seemed battle ready, and I mean, it was a beautiful sight to see. I was worried for this game, because I was worried. I'm getting my hopes up. Or Ravens win, and they're gonna come out and look the same, look terrible, look sluggish, look like uncoordinated and all that stuff, but I mean, they looked like a different team out there, man. They looked like a team that was ready to play. And, I mean, that's how they got to go out and play versus Kansas City. Come out looking with that intensity, but obviously we'll get to Kansas City when we get to there. But you know, to me, kind of going off script here, Lamar's continuing to get better. And honestly, there's absolutely no reason why he shouldn't be the MVP this year, man. Like for real. Allen is a great quarterback. Josh Allen is a great quarterback. Anything that I say here is not to take anything away from him. He's a great quarterback. But I'm sorry. Any Bills fan saying that Josh Allen was robbed last year needs to just stop with that. He wasn't robbed. He didn't finish second place. I don't even think he finished top three. He finished, I believe, fifth in MVP voting last year, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that, but people like to talk about Allen's season last year as like he put up historical numbers like Lamar's doing right now. He didn't. He didn't. He had a great season, but was plagued by turnovers. He's plagued by turnovers last year. And Allen is having a great season this year, but Lamar's having a historic season. If Lamar wins this division and plays a great game on Christmas, goes in next week afterwards, versus the Browns and wins the division, granted, if the Steelers lose a game, no, I'm sorry, Lamar deserves MV3, man, or MVP, MV3, MVP, whatever, and there's a lot of discourse about it, and it feels like the media is really just trying to push for Allen MVP. It really feels like that. Did you see the little CBS graphic where they took away Allen's interception and make it look better? This stat line look better?
And Dan Orlovsky did that too.
Yeah, Dan Orlovsky's sorry. He is a. I'll just I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna leave it at just not saying anything, But you know, um, he needs to shut his stupid ass mouth. I'm not taking it. I'm not listening to some ball advice from guy who doesn't even know his awareness when it comes to the back of the end zone. So, you know, he needs to be quiet. Rex Ryan, big ass wants to go on freaking first take and say that the MVP race is over. There's a reason you can't find a coaching job anymore, man. So it's time to be quiet. And then Stephen A. Smith needs to just always shut up. He shouldn't even be on a platform. He is no reason to talk, Mr. Steelers fan. He was at the game actually on Saturday. I don't know if you saw that. Um,
I didn't.
so a lot of these analysts need to be quiet. Shout out to Cam Newton for always having Lamar's back. But going back to the task, going back to the point, with the Ravens and Steelers. I mean, this was one of Lamar's most important wins of his career so far. He needed this win. We needed this win. The Ravens and the Ravens fan base needed to see the Ravens win this game. And be real, this is how every game with the Steelers should have gone, man. Every game in the last 5 years, man. Double digit wins. Because when the Steelers are winning, they're winning by this much. The Ravens had chances to put them away by multiple scores and they didn't. So this every single game between the Ravens and Steelers in the past few years should have been like this, and it should be like this going forward. No excuses.
Yeah,
So
I agree. We got to start rising up to the occasion, no matter who we play. We can't play down to our opponent, or up to our opponent in certain plays. Let's just always play up.
right,
So, this was a great example of what we can do when we do that. And, I'm excited to see moving forward how we continue to build off of this. The Giants win was a good win. This one was a great win. Let's see what we do on Wednesday.
yep.
So,
Let's
yeah, we
continue
can get
stacking
into
those
it.
wins. Yeah,
Yeah,
because it got to a point where it's like after that bye, you kind of need to win out. You got to win out. 8-5 is an unacceptable record for this team. And you need to win out. Go 12-5. Win the division. And honestly, I mean, I'm gonna ask you this: could this be the win to propel the Ravens forward into a playoff push, playoff run, I should say?
I believe so. I believe so.
Like there's no mental gymnastics anymore. Lamar can do it versus the
Yep,
Steelers.
you
Like
can.
so. I mean, I'm not gonna be surprised if we get to walk into Arrowhead and he has to do it again. Play it. Forget with the mental gymnastics and start playing the games. So, anyways, we'll get there when we get there. Because I mean, I'll get into it in a minute. But you want to get into stats now?
Let's go.
All right. All right, so there you go, Mr. Offense.
So Lamar went 15 of 23, 207 yards, three touchdowns, one interception. Got the coughs there. Derrick Henry, 24 carries, 162 yards, which is amazing to see. Wish he could have got a touchdown there, but
Yeah.
that's how some games go. Justice Hill, prayers to him. He had a concussion. I had a concussion, I believe, in the game. He had two carries for 30 yards. He's really explosive. Lamar Jackson also had nine carries for 22 yards.
Mm.
Um,
Hope Justice
so
Hill's okay.
overall, yeah, we hope he's okay. So overall, the Ravens' rushing attack just ran rucksaw on the Steelers' defense. Zay Flowers had five receptions for 100 yards. He had a great game. He was getting wide open. He actually he had that one catch that provided like a lot of juice. When him and Lamar connected, I believe it was on like a 46-yard pass or something like that. No,
Hmm.
49 yard
Hmm.
pass. And just I was so scared. I thought they was gonna call him for taunting because you know how he likes to get fired up after a play and all that. But I'm glad, the refs in this game weren't really, calling taunting like that. But Zay had a great game, and I think he's above 1,000 yards receiving for the year now.
Yes,
So,
sir.
kudos to Zay, for having a great year and hopefully a Pro Bowl.
Hmm.
Um, Mark Andrews had four receptions for 37 yards and one touchdown. Isaiah Likely got in on the fun and had three receptions for 29 yards and a touchdown. I believe one of us said that he was going to have a touchdown in our prediction
I forgot to
for
write it down, man. Damn it.
But Derrick Henry also had two receptions for 27 yards. Rashad Bateman had one reception for 14 yards. That was a beautiful touchdown throw and catch by the two of
Yep.
them. So,
Yep.
great all around offense.
Also, let's not have this fumble sheet look like this ever again.
Yeah.
We had I think we had like three fumbles in this game, and thank God we recovered all of them. Yeah, let's not do that again. Let's not do that again. So, all that talking I did earlier, I didn't even mention Derrick Henry was just slashing that freaking Steelers defense, man. I mean, he looked incredible out there. He looked incredible. I mean, shout out to the O line. Still need things to improve because I still think they have moments and spurts here and there. They kind of look like crap, but overall, guys were really balling. So especially Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry was killing it. Anyways, to move on to defensive stats here, Roquan Smith had 10 total tackles. Kyle Hamilton had 8 total tackles, and a pass deflection. Namdi had 7 total tackles, half a sack, 2 tackles for losses, and a QB hit. KVN had 5 total tackles, one and a half sacks, 1 tackle for loss, and 3 QB hits. Chris Board had 5 tackles as well. Brandon Stevens had 4 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Washington had 4 total tackles. He had a forced fumble as well, and Tavius Robinson had 4 total tackles. Marlon Humphrey had 3 total tackles, 1 pass deflection, a touchdown. He had the pick six, like I said, our first defensive touchdown of the season, and interception, obviously. Nate Wiggins had 3 total tackles and a pass deflection. Oh, no, I'm sorry, he didn't have a pass deflection. Malik Harrison, 3 total tackles. Travis Jones had 3 total tackles. Michael Pierce, Desmond King, Tre'Davious White, Makari, Ajabo, and Urban all had 1 total tackle. Michael Pierce did have a sack and a tackle for loss and a QB hit. And those are our defensive stats in the game. Um, let's see here. Not play by play. Team stats. The Steelers had 19 first downs to the Ravens 25. Steelers had 14 passing first downs to our 12. They had 5 rushing first downs to our 11. Their Steelers had no penalties from first downs from penalties when the Ravens had 2. Each team was 4 for 10 on fourth down. I'm sorry, on third down. Steelers were 0 for 1 on fourth down. Steelers ran 60 total plays to our 62. They had 315 total yards to our 418. They had 11 drives to our 10. Um, they averaged 5.2 yards per play to our 6.7. Um, let's see here. They had 117 rushing yards to our 220. They were 2 for 2 in the red zone, and we were 3 for 5. They were 5 for 20. They had 5 penalties for 29 yards, and we only had 2 for 10. So again, minimizing mistakes here is very key, and they did that. We won the turnover battle finally versus these pricks. They had 2 turnovers, we had 1. And what's it called? We won the time of possession as well. They had the ball for 27 minutes and 35 seconds. We had it for 32 minutes and 25 seconds. So minimizing mistakes, capitalizing on their mistakes. They don't make a lot, but when they do, you need to capitalize on it, and they did exactly that. I think they scored on each of the turnovers they had. So, obviously offensively they scored after the fumble and obviously the pick six. So I don't know, man. It feels good to finally beat these jerk offs. I mean, they finally put things together. You know, like I said, minimize mistakes, played their brand of football, got a good win, and honestly, if we were to rematch against them in the postseason, I would be confident again that we would beat them. Honestly, because it would be in Baltimore if we do win the division. So, if we could continue to play this brand of football versus them, I think we could beat them in a rematch in the postseason. And I wanted to say this earlier, but honestly, this is gonna sound cocky, but I'm gonna say it anyways. AFC is still a little weak. They are, man. Because I'm gonna tell you this, and Buffalo's probably gonna get that 2 seed. But I'm gonna tell you this: Buffalo's worst nightmare in that 7 seed is the Bengals. Their Buffalo Bills defenses, it's not really that impressive, honestly. They might have a play here and there, but you can run on their defense. The best defense in the AFC is probably the Chiefs defense. and the Broncos defense is really good. But I think the
Charge
Ravens, I was gonna say Chargers defense is pretty good, but I mean we hung 30 and 40 on each of those, so I think the Ravens could handle the Chargers and Broncos. The Bengals might also be one of our worst fears if we get to play them. Honestly, if we're being real here, the best AFC Championship outcome would be the Ravens and Bengals.
Yeah.
That'd be good for sports media or good for the NFL, at least ratings wise. But you know, mm, I don't know if the Bengals make it to the postseason, but if they do, I watch out for that because Joe Burrow is Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes' worst nightmare.
You
So, but their defense is just as scary, meaning and not in a good way.
Yeah, their defense. It just reminded me. I remember Joe Burrow. He wanted to buy presents for his offensive line, and he all wanted guns or something. I don't know why that was just thinking in my head when you talk about the Bengals.
They don't deserve. They deserve a manual how to block, how to play offensive tackle and guard in the NFL.
Yeah, give them all books, study sessions.
Atlanta Browns big ass don't read.
But yeah, I definitely agree. Those are definitely some teams to look out for, and can spoil a lot of team seasons. So you know,
Yep,
Bengals are Bengals are like that on
yep.
offense. But so is anything else to add? You got anything else to add?
Nope.
Well, it was just a great win, great divisional win. We got to move forward to 11-5, and eventually get to 12-5. So let's do it, Ravens. That's all we got for you guys in this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, comment down below what were your thoughts about the game. Also, comment down below, who are you most surprised by in the game? Was it somebody on defense? Was it somebody on offense? Was it something that you noticed that maybe we didn't point out in this video? Comment it down below. Also, check out our social media, our Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Check out, the amazing graphics that Jared made for our channel, for our social media on Instagram. Show some love. And also, check out our second channel, Casual Cinema. We'll have something on there soon. That's all we got for you guys tonight. We're Birds Break Sports. We're out.
Right.